Hello, everybody. Cory Bender's show here on BWC Internet Radio. Today, I just want to do one topic. I mean, two topics in one segment, I should say. Ryan is doing the Thunder and Grizzlies matchup and the Heat Celtics matchup in one video, and he's already posted this. It's about 7:25, right? I'm doing about right now, and the Heat Celtics game right now is 53-50 at halftime. So just taking a break and doing my assignment of talking about this whole Lakers mess that's been going on and the Mavericks sweeping them and the Bulls and Hawks series. And I want to start off with this Lakers mess, like I had said. And they got swept, and they didn't get swept. It wasn't a close series at all. They got dominated every game, in every way, in every form. I'm gonna use the term: the Mavericks didn't beat the Lakers in the series. Lakers beat themselves, and some of these reasons is because they were out of gas, like Ryan had talked about on Saturday on the Ryan Hartson show. They looked out of gas. Most of these guys don't look like they give a damn anymore, like Pau Gasol. He has no excuses to play at the level he's playing. He's an all-star caliber player, and he has been most of his career. And I don't know what it is. He just looks confused out there. He's trying to take too many jump shots. He's confused. He doesn't know what to do on plays. I don't know what's up with him, but something is just wrong with him, and I don't know what happened during this postseason, but he was god awful. Um, on the other hand, you have this whole Lamar Odom distraction, maybe, of this whole show he has with his wife, the fat Kardashian. I don't even know her name. I think it's Chloe. Yeah, she's the fatter one out of the group, so maybe he's a little mad. Ryan and I was just teasing him about that. I'm sure he's fine with his wife. But I think maybe that whole distraction of doing that show might get him distracted. Ron Artest in a locker room, that could get a little, it's Ron Artest. What else am I going to say? Um, bench, pretty much bench-wise, they don't have much depth in my mind because Matt Barnes is a decent player. Same thing with Shannon Brown, their backup point guard. He's a slasher, but he's not a good distributor, which you kind of need in a point guard. Hence, he has to pass the ball around and run the floor. Yeah. And then your starting point guard's Derek Fisher, who's 10 million years past his prime. So the Lakers have a lot of matchup problems as on the floor, and they're just old. I mean, the only guy who has a little bit of gas left would be Kobe Bryant because his ego's so freaking big. His body's telling him, please, stop. Stop. You've won 5 NBA championships and have lost maybe like 2 or 1. Just stop. It hurts. But his ego's going, come on, I want more. I want more championships. I want more than Michael Jordan. I just want many championships I can. I want to be the best player, to be ever play. But on the other hand, his team isn't playing the way they should be. They're playing with no class either. Hence, Andrew Bynum just destroying J.J. Barrera going up for a layup and getting ejected. And that was a classless act. It was so immature. I'm not one for dirty plays in any sport. Andrew Bynum's not really much of a dirty player. I mean, this is kind of the first incident I've seen him. I mean, maybe he has in the past, but I haven't seen it. But that was just thuggish. And when you have Magic Johnson saying that he was embarrassed by this team, you know you're doing something wrong. Because he and Jerry West are Mr. Laker, two of the most famous Lakers to ever play in that uniform. And when you have Magic Johnson being embarrassed about what you're doing out in the court, you're doing everything wrong. You're not just doing something wrong, you're doing everything wrong. I think Phil Jackson's getting to the point where he just wants to quit, and even in an interview he said he was almost happy that they were done with this series because, they're just doing so bad, and he punched Pau Gasol right in the chest. I mean, he's never done that to a player. He got a right in his face, and calling him out, and Pau just looked at him like, I don't really care, I mean, it's not like it's the playoffs or anything. Oh, wait, it is, and it actually matters, and that championship that you won 2 years in a row? You can go win that again if you win this series and the next one. Never, you know what, it's like he's never heard of the playoffs. But anyway, this whole Lakers debacle has just made me a little angry. Be a realist about it. They just had so many problems and distractions. I really thought they're going to have a chance at this three-peat, keeping the guys around. I know they're a bit older, but, I know experience, like I've said before, isn't the biggest thing in sports. It's almost the most almost the most overrated thing in sports. But experience does help. But I want to talk on the next thing with these Lakers is, do they disband this team? Do they trade players like Magic Johnson said they should do? You maybe can keep Kobe for another year because he can have maybe one more year left. You have to find a new coach. It's going to be hard to replace Phil Jackson. Well, you can't really replace him. Well, but you have to find a decent coach. You have to put young talent around Kobe Bryant. You have to, if you would trade Pau Gasol, maybe that'd be a good move. It just depends on if he decides to show up next season. I mean, you don't know. Andrew Bynum, when he's healthy, is very good, and he's a very good player, and I feel like LA needed to go more to him in this Mavs series. They need to upgrade at the point guard position because Derek Fisher's not even that good anymore, at least. And Shannon Brown's just a good slasher, and I need more than just a good slasher as my point guard. Maybe they could get Chris Paul in the offseason, maybe. That's a pretty good possibility. I think Los Angeles would go crazy about that. Maybe you can trade Pau Gasol for somebody. I don't know. You got to get young talent around Kobe Bryant, though. I mean, Bryant's not going to have much time left, but you have to start rebuilding this team because Kobe's already past his prime. He still has enough in the tank for 1 year, but after that, the Lakers would be done. Without Kobe Bryant, they'd be done. I mean, sure, he's not playing at MV. Sure, he's not playing the way he used to, but, he's just old. He can't, his body is just so busted down, he can only do so much. And he's one of the best closers in the game. But I want to just quickly wrap up this little Lakers discussion here. I want to talk about the Mavericks a little bit. Give them credit. They took advantage of a very debacle Lakers team. They swept them. They not only beat them, they crushed them like I had said. Beat them by 32 points in Game 4. They're hitting threes from everywhere. They just took the Lakers, they just killed them every game. They looked like the bigger team. They're also the more classy team. And, they look very good. And whoever they face in the next round, hence the Grizzlies or the Thunder, I think it'll be a good matchup. I really wanted to see the Lakers move on, but, taking advantage of a team that doesn't look like they deserve to get a third ring, you're going to make it far. Anyway, that's the Mavericks and Lakers series, and congratulations to the Mavericks once again for taking advantage of a very weak team. Anyway, I'm going to transition over now to the Bulls and Hawks series, and last night the Bulls and Hawks played a very tight game most of the way. I believe there's like 7 lead changes by the end of the first quarter. There's a bunch of other lead changes back then too. And I think this game really came down to the last couple minutes where the Bulls just completely tanked. Excuse me, like losing my train of thought here. Oh, right. They completely just, I don't know what happened. They couldn't make shots. They were playing terrible defense. The Hawks were just making everything. They made a late run which won them the game. And that's pretty much that was going to determine the rest of the game and who was going to dominate the next 2 minutes. And that's what the Hawks did. And you know what? I wasn't really surprised by it either, because I can quickly pull up this box score of the game if my computer will load. Let's see here. Box score. Trying to see how much D Rose scored this game. Maybe it'll give us an explanation why they lost also. Let's see here. I don't want averages. I want the box score. You know what? Screw it. Let me try and find it in a minute. Either way, like I said, Hawks dominated the last 2 minutes. That's why they won this game. And I also want to talk about Josh Smith. Funny story. He's been doing so bad jump shooting as of late that even the Atlanta fans are groaning whenever he takes a shot, and they have good reason to, because he just misses all of them. It was really awkward for him too. I'm no expert, but my shot is a little awkward too, but it actually goes in, and his just looks flat all the time. Like I can't really tell. He goes really fast, so I can't really tell how he does it. But he just has like a weird angle or something that makes it flat. He doesn't have enough rotation on the ball to get it at a good pace, and but really when he goes to slashing in the lane, that's when he's at his best. And he actually realized, hey, this driving in the lane thing's actually working. Maybe I should do that and not shoot the ball. How hard does have to take to realize, yeah, my jump shot's up. Maybe I should transition to something else. NBA players amaze me sometimes. Anyway, previewing this next game for Game 5 is going to be in Chicago. I believe that this is going to be a 7-game series in my mind. I originally thought maybe 6 going to the Bulls, but I think it's going to be falling out. The Bulls are going to get home court advantage in Game 5. They're not going to blow them out of the water or anything. I think it'll be another close game, but I think the Bulls' home crowd energy will get them going. I think they'll win Game 5, then transition back over to Atlanta for Game 6, and I think the Hawks play so good at home they're going to win that, and then Game 7 will ultimately be decided in Chicago. And I think the Bulls will have enough firepower to pull one out if they can execute the whole game and not just depend on Derrick Rose all the time, which is going to be hard. They need to find the second scoring option because they can't just go and sign somebody off of free agency because there's no one good enough. And I think I found a box score from Game 3. Let's see here. Derrick Rose. Let's see, points. 34 points for D Rose, so that's pretty good. But your next leaders are Luol Deng with 13 and Boozer with 18. But the rest of these guys didn't get in double figures. The closest one was Taj Gibson with 9. You can't do that. You have to score a lot more. And when you look back at Atlanta, 23 points for Josh Smith, 20 for Al Horford, and 24 from Joe Johnson, and then 12 from Jamal Crawford. See, Atlanta has the advantage, and they have a better, in my team, a better team in my mind, shooting wise. They have better scores. They have more options to go to, and don't be surprised if the Hawks win the series, because I wouldn't. I know I'm saying the Bulls are going to win in 7. But that to me is just home court advantage, and I think Derrick Rose can overtake any game when he wants to. They just have to execute in the last few minutes, which is what they failed to do in Game 4, and that's what ultimately decided this, because otherwise they would have gone back to Chicago 3-1 and probably ended this series. But they just failed the last 2 minutes, and, I don't know what happened, but they lost their focus. Ultimately, it's going to be Bulls in 7. If I'm wrong, I'm not going to be surprised at all, because this Atlanta team has so many options to go to, while the Bulls really don't. I mean, Kyle Cory, when he can, I've never seen him struggle so much 3-point-wise. Even when he was with Utah, I've never seen him struggle so much. And his shot's just not on. He can be a good scoring option, he just isn't. And then the same thing with Luol Deng. Some nights he'll be good, sometimes he won't. That's what the Bulls need to get in the offseason, is that second, either superstar or second really big key scorer. Because the Bulls do play a hell of a good defense, but they depend on D Rose too much to the scoring. Which is why you could get a Dwight Howard and then have Joakim Noah come off the bench with his energy and have Dwight Howard dominate the paint and score, and then maybe take some pressure off D Rose from scoring. And get a better shooting guard in the offseason also, because Keith Bogans is a joke. But that's how I think these series are going to go, or at least the one series, since, the Mavericks 1-4. But that's how I see the Bulls and Hawks series going, and I really enjoy doing these segments, and hopefully we'll be able to do a JMFPSP Saturday, and do our little bracket wager of eating a liver, and that's just a little announcement of future programming here on BWC Internet Radio, and thank you guys for listening, and I'm going to go join the rest of this Boston-Miami game, and hopefully catch the Thunder and Grizzlies game, and watch Kevin Durant do his thing, and I advise everyone who is listening, if, all 9 of you, to go watch, and listen to this first, though. Alright, thank you guys for listening here. Cory Bender Show here on BWC Internet Radio.